Welcome back everyone to the channel. Today's video we're going to be talking about what was the biggest issue with the CLA 45 that happened very recently. So I'm going to go over exactly what happened to this car, the experience of getting it fixed and why it took so long. Luckily the car is under warranty, so I didn't have to pay a dime, but based on the repairs that needed to be done for this car, I can guarantee you that it was not cheap at all if it was out of warranty. So essentially what really happened with this car was one day I was driving and I was going through the city and I didn't actually have my music playing, so I could hear pretty much every noise that was going on with this car, and I noticed that the front left was creaking really loudly, and I couldn't figure out whether or not it was just kind of like just going over a pothole or something like that, but I noticed that this noise was consistently going on every time I was driving this car at low speeds. I narrowed down the issue that it was in the front and it was just creaking really loudly. I couldn't figure out because it was the suspension or what exactly it was. So obviously I had to take it to Mercedes to figure out what was the main issue and what was causing this annoying sound. So under the hood we go. Over here, you have two struts for the springs and basically the suspension of this car. You have that strut bar that goes across, this AMG specific, and basically this is going to be the suspension setup for this car. So after I took it to Mercedes, they figured out that it was the left strut that was the issue. So that's what was causing the creaking noise. I don't know exactly what happened to the strut, but I just know that basically the sound was coming from there and they had to replace basically the whole setup. So I do have the sheet that goes over exactly what they did to this car. I can't cover up important information, so I'm just going to read it off here. So exactly what they had to replace was the shock absorber strut, the support bushing, the plan bearing, screw, nut, coil spring shim, the coil spring itself. Then they had to adjust the headlights. So when they took off, basically they took off the whole front end. They took out the headlight, the wheel, everything to basically adjust and fix the strut. And then when they put those back on, they had to adjust the headlamps because they do have the auto leveling. So they had to adjust all of that, and they had to do an alignment on the vehicle because they took off the wheel. But basically they took off the whole left suspension and replaced it completely because it was broken. So Mercedes didn't tell me exactly why they think that broke. They just know it obviously broke, so they replaced everything for the front left suspension to make the sound go away. Now that I have the car back, it is fixed and the sound is gone. The biggest issue I had with the car breaking was the fact that it took forever to get fixed. So it almost took over a month for this car to finally get done, get all the parts, get it installed, and to get it fixed. I actually had to call MBUSA to expedite the fix because I felt like the dealership was just kind of slacking off and not really doing much to get this car ready and done. They kept saying excuses of whether or not the parts were in, there was a special tool they needed. Granted, I don't know if that's true or not. It could very well be, but it took way too long and I was getting very frustrated not being able to drive this car. Now that the car is fixed, the issue has not come back since, and it's been about, I think, 3 weeks since I got the car back after getting it fully fixed. So I'm really happy that that is not showing up again. My theory on what actually happened was my commute to work actually had a lot of potholes. I think driving on really bad roads for every single day, back and forth, for the month that I was doing the commute, I think really damaged the car and basically messed up the suspension. So I don't think it's a fault of the car just being really badly made. I think it's because this car, just because it's a sportier car, just really can't handle like really bad roads all the time. So because the issue is more based on the type of roads that this car was being driven on, if you have a CLA 45, I highly suggest avoiding any really bad roads because you might have the same suspension issue that I had. And although this wasn't the fault of the car, I did have numerous issues with this car that was based on quality issues, and I'll be going over that on a whole different video on why the CLA 45 is very low quality made for the price, but we'll get into that in the next video, so stay tuned for that coming very soon. So like I said at the beginning of this video, this car is still under its factory warranty, so that fix was completely covered by that warranty, so I didn't have to pay a single dime for it to get fixed. Now, if this car was outside of warranty and that had to get fixed, I would say this would be a very expensive cost, probably a few thousand, maybe more, close to like 5 or 6 grand to get it fixed. So make sure, one, you have factory warranty on a new CLA 45, and 2, you buy an extended warranty because this car does have a lot of faults. Even though this one wasn't because of the car's quality issues, there has been other ones, like I said, and I'll be going over them. So it's very important to keep this car under warranty because it does have its gripes and makes it annoying owning this car, especially if you own it outside of a warranty period. But that wraps it up for today's video. I just wanted to do a quick video on what was the issue of this car and why it was MIA for such a long time, and I just wanted to go over kind of the details of what happened and basically go over everything on that. So if you do have a CLA 45, like I said, avoid really bad roads or you will have a strut issue like I did. But like I said, that's it for today's video. Be on the lookout for more videos on the CLA 45 coming very, very soon. If you did like this video, please give it a thumbs up, and if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. And yeah, I'll see you guys on the next video.